Here on West Bremer Radio, it's 8:15. Let's go straight down to someone that we really enjoy listening to every week. We've got a lot of feedback. He is historyouthere.com. Go to his website, historyouthere.com. And we haven't had any. Get on there and do yourself a tape, a video, and put it on historyouthere.com. Come on, girls. Come on, ladies. Come on, blokes. Let's do it. Let's go to harold.peacock. Let's talk about this media mogul in Ipswich. G'day, Harold.
Yes, good morning, Danny. It's all about media this week because, the news of Rupert Murdoch. He's getting engaged for a fifth time.
Unbelievable, eh?
Yeah, well, he's 92 years old, so he's a bit of history himself. So, I thought I'd look into, does Ipswich have its own media mogul? And yes, you'll be surprised.
What, a long time ago or recently?
Yeah, well, it all starts back in 1831. You see, that's when Edward Augustus Bullmore, he was born in Cornwall, England, in 1831. So this is where I'm taking you back to. And Edward Bullmore, he was a well-known grazier who farmed in the Hunter district, Liverpool Plains, and up in Augustella. In 1877, he settled at Rockton, which is the heritage-listed mansion that's still there today in Rockton Street, Newtown, here in Ipswich.
Wow, Rockton.
Now Rockton. And that's where he lived out the rest of his life. And his family stayed there for perhaps 50 or 60 years. Now, during his time, Edward Bullmore was president and life member of the Ipswich Hospital Board, chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Ipswich Boys Grammar School, president of the Queensland Pastoral Agricultural Society, and chairman of the Royal Bank of Queensland. He was really someone.
He was.
In 1881... two of his sons, there was 12-year-old Reginald and 9-year-old Edward, tragically drowned with two other men when their sailing boat was caught in a squall rounding Woody Point in Moreton Bay.
Wow.
Now, Bullmore's only surviving son was Herbert Henry Bullmore. Oh. He was educated right here at Ipswich Grammar School and was a rugby union player who uniquely represented both Queensland and Scotland, and became a leading physician. Sadly, Henry Bullmore suddenly died in 1937, quite suddenly, leaving a widow, a son, and 4 daughters. Now, more tragedy followed the Bullmore family when Henry's only son, Henry James Bullmore, was a flying officer in the RAAF who was killed in action in New Guinea during World War II.
Oh, that's very sad.
But it is, and in good service. But good things happened too, because one of Henry Bullmore's daughters, Mary, became the fashion editor of the Australian Women's Weekly.
Wow!
Another daughter was Gretel Bullmore. She married Frank, who named 2 boats after her. Now, Frank was a company director, and the 2 boats named after Gretel Bullmore were in fact Gretel and Gretel II, which were the Australian challengers for the America's Cup in 1962 and 1970.
Yes.
Now, you remember that. But did you know that Gretel's youngest son was named Kerry. His full name was Kerry Francis Bullmore Packer. Yes, that's the Kerry Packer, who at the time of his death in 2005 was the richest man in Australia with a net worth of around $6.5 billion. That's with a B, billion.
$5 billion.
Yeah. So Kerry Packer's mother is from the Bullmore family from right here in Ipswich.
Wow.
You can still see the heritage-listed Bullmore family home in Rockton Street.
Which is called Rockton.
That's right. And you can visit the Ipswich Cemetery to see the headstone of the family patriarch, Edward Augustus Bullmore, who brought the family to Ipswich all those years ago. So we've got our own media magnate. We've got to remember that when Rupert gets married shortly.
You fascinate me. You must just wake up in the middle of the night and think, what are we going to talk about on West Bremer Radio? And you come up with a bottler. And of course, we're looking at it now.
We're looking at Rockton House now.
Wow.
It's a beautiful home, isn't it? And look, we should give a shout out we should give a shout out to James Packer and, of course, his sister Gretel, who may well be listening to you right now, Danny.
Well, they listen all around the world. I've got the King of Tonga's listening, Malule Fefehaka, and he's listening. Now, how do we find out about this story and read about all your stories?
Yes, go online to historyouthere.com, and tomorrow morning I'll be posting this story and photos of all the generations of the Bullmore family that belong here in Ipswich. And that's Kerry Packer. James Packer. He's got to come back to visit us one day. Get him on the show, Danny. Get James Packer on the show.
Well, I should get him on. We're just reading the little sign, the Heritage Walk, and they put little signs out the front of these old houses, which is something I respect Ipswich. Paul Pasali was big on this, protecting the history of Ipswich, and you've got to give it to him. And we're just reading it now. But go to that Rockton, Rockton, Rockton Place, and have a look at it in Rockton Street, Newtown. Geez, that's a good yarn.
Yes, Kerry Packer, the Bullmores, and Danny Hoyland.
Danny Hoyland, one of the great media moguls of Ipswich and Brisbane. And did you go with the Dolphins or the Broncos last night?
Oh, look, rugby league was a winner. It wasn't a great game. Dolphins hitting the front 10 minutes to go. It was so exciting, wasn't it?
It was. And
if they didn't lose a halfback, they lost their best player with the last few minutes. If he was on the ground, they might have got up. What
about Wayne Bennett said, Rugby League is the winner. Rugby League.
Absolutely. Rugby League is the winner. And AFL was a winner too. Brisbane, Queensland was the winner.
Queensland, yes. At least we pay the bills for the lights, okay? You AFL people don't pay your bills, so what do you expect? All right. That was Harold the H. Peacock on West Bremer Radio, historyouthere.com. Send in your videos. It is now 8:22.